Hey, Tony Gasson here. Now I heard about this here, the Zion Williamson situation been going on for a little while. I've kind of, stayed away from it for a little bit. It's a little, personal to me just because, I have NBA, NFL, MLS, a lot of professional athletes that I mentor and coach since 2010. So it's been over a decade I've been working in that space. And then just having, people I know personally outside of professionally become pro athletes. And it's a lot of pressure on them guys. It's a lot of pressure on the men and women who become the first in their family to do something like that, or sometimes not even the first. They could be the second or the third, but it's still individual pressure to get to those heights because you want to be a person, but a lot of people see you as a product, and a lot of times you get treated as a product and you get used and then you get disposed of, so it feels. Even though if that may not be the case because you're being paid for your services, it still feels like you're being disposed of. And I remember working with a team, a pro team, and I was trying to, we was talking about like sacrificing and just changing your life outside of the game. And one of the players stood up and was like, "Man, how you talking to us about this, man, and telling us to do all this up, man, and you come in here one day and you trade it." And that was his mentality. That was his mindset. And sure enough, he'd been traded several times because that's your mindset. That's what's going to happen. But to deal with some of that fear, some of that anxiety, some of that worry, some of the pressure, they get into things. A lot of pro athletes get into things, and most humans get into some type of vice when you got pressure. So pornography is one of the most pervasive vices that's out there right now. And a lot of times what happens is a person could be sheltered, like they could have a good household where they can't really do too much, but then they get to college and their teammates are into it. And sometimes if somebody has been sheltered and they get into something, it consumes them because they just go crazy with it. And this is a thing for y'all parents. One of the things that I've seen to the parents is you got to give your child some type of balance. Like you got to kind of let them live and let them explore, but also talk to them about what they are seeing and hearing. So me and my son tomorrow, I let him know today, me and him have a meeting tomorrow after his workouts. We got us a mental training meeting where we're going to talk about this Zion Williamson situation. Because here you have Zion who, coming up, he coming out of high school, going to college, went to Duke. This dude flying around on the court. He dunking on everybody. He just like this phenom and been dunking since like 12 or something. And he playing, against all Caucasian, against all white boys, coming out of high school, playing in the little church leagues. But nonetheless, he's still a very dynamic athlete. And so you could see he's going to be a multi-millionaire one day. And I think a lot of times that brings a lot of the hopes and anticipation for the parents. They're not really parenting. They don't want to get cut off. They don't want to get taken out the payout. They don't want to have too many real talks. Or you look at the kid, your kid might be talking proper. And I ain't speaking just about Zion in this. I'm talking to us as parents, for us to be mindful, because our child could become like this. Your child may speak well, may behave, not get in trouble. So you say, I'm not going to talk about sex. I'm not going to talk about masturbation. I'm not gonna talk about porn. I'm not gonna talk about weed, because I could be putting the notion in my child's head. My child ain't even thinking about that. My child will never do that, and that's what we tell ourselves. But by 13, all conversations need to be had. This day and age, by 13, all conversations need to be had. And you got to be diligent with your raising of your children. And so now we have this Zion Williamson thing. Basically, what I see is just a naive, green young man who was sheltered. He went to private school. He was not given the real about the game. Everybody was afraid to talk to him and tell him the real. And the people who did, he may have thought he knows it all and didn't want to listen and thought he had it under control. But he didn't have enough real world knowledge to understand that you can never form an alliance or a bond with a woman who sells her body for a living, because she has been taken advantage of and she's been stripped of dignity and integrity and class, and she's at a place, a spiritual dump. She's at a place that's so low in her life that if you go into them trenches and you new to them trenches, you new to that spiritual world, that spiritual warfare, you are food for fodder. You're gonna get ripped to shreds. And that woman, she has had to fight and tooth and claw and survive a vicious world, because in most cases, a lot of times when you think about it, if you're gonna sell your body, it's probably because it's already been taken for free. And so you like, hey, if people just gonna take from me and violate me, I might as well sign up for this, take ownership of it, say that I own this choice, and get paid and make tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or thousands or even millions. And our world is changing. We have the man Adam 22 who just married a porn star, and now his porn star wife has released a tape. She's a white woman. She done did a porn tape with a big black man, tall, muscular black guy, and she promoting it. She promoting it, and yet, and I could tell her husband, he trying to act like he don't care. You know, he married this porn star, but I know behind closed doors, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna come a time, and when he watch it, you're a human being. Unless you're an alien, unless you literally just a demon in human form, or unless you is, yeah, you got to be a demon in human form for you to watch a video of your wife getting backstrokes and getting wore out the frame by a guy who probably most likely bigger than you in every sense of the word. If you watch and enjoy that, you know, you gone as a person. Like your mind gone, your heart gone, like everything you through for. And that could be the case with the young man. God bless his soul. I'm praying for him. Adam, bring him on that podcast, No Jumper. And it's just sad, because now with this man with a platform marrying a porn star, it's normalizing it. Now, somebody have to be crazy with they listen to no influence. Like, you have to have no family, no real friends, and no influence, which is a very sad place to be in. Very sad place to be in for even the guy Adam to be able to marry a porn star, but then for Zion to be dealing with these porn stars. What you have to realize is what we seen happen is we seen his teammates, most likely in college and or high school, watching him deal with these porn stars and not saying nothing. Probably like bigging him up. Oh, you a wild boy. Oh, you crazy. Oh, yeah. And people will big you up because, and then so while he out here sleeping with the porn stars, he could never get his body in shape. His focus was so out of order he's so all over the place that he focused on these women and putting them courtside and sending them monthly checks. The young lady might have stopped making porno because she was eating good off them monthly checks, or she could have kept doing it. Who knows? But now he picks and he chooses this other woman who either was a porn star or a stripper. He gets her pregnant. Now they do a baby shower. He announced the baby. Now the other one mad. She mad. The one he with, I think she went and get a tattoo of his name on her face or something crazy. And so now he is turned into a circus clown. And Shaquille O'Neal just sitting back comfortable, because Zion Williamson was the type of talent that could have made the world forget all about a Shaquille O'Neal, a Dwight Howard, anybody whoever was tall and jump out the gym and muscular and dunk on people. Zion Williams was finna collect all records. But what happened? These women that he fell into, the women that he done chose, took all his strength, took all his focus. And maybe through all this fiasco, this will motivate him. Maybe when he see this video, it'll help him wake up and smell the Folgers in the morning and get his act together and decide that he gonna prove some people wrong and prove to himself that he could be more than a degenerate, that he can take and fulfill his God-given potential and purpose and use basketball as a means to do bigger and better things. I mean, he was sitting and he having a foundation. He got a foundation. They giving money. They doing things for the community, but it's overshadowed. Got a black cloud hanging over the event because of his off the court activities, to where he had to have his stepdad up there doing the talking instead of him up there doing all the talking, like most young men in his position do. He's standing way in the back. He wasn't even standing beside the podium when his stepdaddy was talking. The clip that they shown, he's standing way in the back behind everybody, head hung low because of what he doing out off the court. And we got to hold each other accountable. If you know him personally, send him a text message, encourage him, pray for him. If you a teammate of his, sit down with him, talk to him, and speak life into him. You know, speak life into him and be real with him. If you a coach, a GM, be real with the man. Like, sit down and say, listen, man, it ain't too late. It ain't too late to change your life. It ain't too late to get your life right. It ain't too late to make a decision, to grow, to be better. And put me in your corner. Let me be on speed dial. When you getting ready to do something, you getting ready to talk to a young lady or whatever, man, shoot me a message. Because I'm going to tell y'all what a lot of people don't realize. What a lot of people don't realize is that pornography is like crack cocaine. It's like crack cocaine. Because what you have to realize and understand is that the same part of the brain that's activated when somebody do cocaine is the same part of the brain that's activated when somebody have an orgasm. And when you watching two humans have sex, that is gonna be the most interesting thing that you see. Like, that's gonna be more interesting than the zoo, than sleeping outside in the wilderness. It's gonna be the most interesting thing to see different body parts, different stuff, different, you know, experiments and all of that. And that's why I don't watch it, because I could picture it in my head. Like, I done slept with somebody, I done seen little clips of it. I have never sat down and watched a full porno, because I know that is going to be addicting. I already know it. Just how the male mind is and how we set up, I know That is going to be addicting. I already know it. And so knowing that, I'm like, no, buddy, I'm not finna play with it. I ain't finna play with it. I'm finna live my life. I'm finna focus on my wife, because thing about it is I'm also seeing people get addicted. And just like with this situation right here. So it's, see, a lot of people watch pornography. They don't have the following to go and message one of these people on their screen. But it's certain people, you get enough money, you got enough following, you could go message and say, hey, bring this to me. Bring this to me live, direct, and in effect. I want the real deal. Holyfield. Hey, let's do what you do. Make the thing here happen. And so when you get to a place to where you could get on a private jet, you could go anywhere in the world, you could eat anything you want, you could eat as much as you want, you could buy anything you want. If you don't have the integrity, the character, the discipline to do the right thing, like I ain't even got 10% of what Zion Williamson got, and my lunch today cost me, and now I'm about to pick up dinner and it costs, and I'm looking like, man, imagine having that kind of money, what you eat, where you going, like that kind of money. I could have got on a private jet with my wife today, spent $30,000, flew to New York, went to a nice restaurant, got back on the private jet, boom, back home at night. And guess what? That's what some of them people do. It's what some of them guys do. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. That's what some of them do. When you got it like that. So what you have to realize, in order to have your child, for your child not to go through that, you're gonna have to do this right here. At the age of understanding, might be 13, might be 14, 15, 16, probably no later than 16. By then, it shouldn't be no super duper habit, because even if they done seen it, because they live in a house with you and they know you might be checking their phone and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you what one guy said, and this is how we live. No sleepovers. No sleepovers. Stop letting your child sleep over at somebody's house, because if a parent will let somebody sleep over at their house, that means that's a chill, lax parent. I don't want nobody sleeping over at my house, because I don't even want the liability. I don't want the liability of this kid falling off something and hitting his nose, hitting his face. I don't even want the liability. So if a parent will let a child sleep over, that's a lax parent. So understand that. Don't let your child sleep over nowhere. You can play all day. Play till 10 p.m., boom, pick you up. What have you. But even then, they're going to get into stuff, because some kids going to be more worldly. They're going to be more into stuff. So you got to talk to your child. You got to let them know, listen, you're not cursing. I catch you cursing. You grounded. You losing your game. You losing your phone. You losing all out of everything. You're not cursing. Somebody try to show you something, some pornography, like people having sex. You tell them, no, I'm not into that, because that's going to warp your mind. It's going to trap your mind. When a child is young, your child is impressionable. Your child will hear you. Your child will listen to you. They might still rebel, but they're going to come back to what you said, what you told them. So you got to realize and understand this now. And no sleepovers. Next thing with their phone, you let them know, hey, everything on your phone, I can see. I can see everything on your phone. I got your phone hooked up to mine. I got parental controls on here. So I'm going to be checking your phone. You let them know. I'm going to be checking your phone. When they want to, oh, I want my own phone. I don't want to where you can't check it. I said, oh, so what you getting into? What you got to hide? Shouldn't be no conversation that got to be hidden. At night, phone, go in another room. Phone, go in another room. You can have them put their phone, their tablet, their laptop, and their remote to their TV in your room, so that it minimize them being able to do all kind of stuff and get into all kind of stuff. Minimize it. And you need to have the conversation with them about the stuff that's going on. Articles. You need to show them the real. See, not every child is going to be around and be able to see an uncle or aunt who is a crackhead or an alcoholic. So you got to be able to, a drug addict, use a better word. So I grew up seeing that. So I know how addiction work, and that's why I never did no drugs or anything that can addict me, because I realized like, whoa, okay, yeah, it's too real. So what you have to understand is, if they not gonna be able to see that stuff in real life, you got to show them the articles, show them the news, let them see the real. Because as you know, we learn when we see stuff. A lot of times we do what we've never seen consequences of. So you got to do this. You let them see that, so that when they go astray, if they rebel, they know how to get back home. And this is what got to be realized and understood. Got to come to this place, realization and understanding. And it's sad with the Zion Williamson situation. I feel terrible for the young man. Got, finesse like that, and the young lady, she out for blood. She like, man, you was my meal ticket. You was gonna get me out of the game. You were gonna get me out of, doing this scripting or porn, and I'm finna be a millionaire. I was about to have a Richard Milley. I was about to have a Bentayga, living in a mansion, having your babies. I thought that I could be, raunchous and raucous, and then come up at the end like your baby mama. And now here you got me out here in the cold. You done lied to me. You done mistreated me. Now she's saying he was putting hands on her, which I don't doubt it. I ain't saying he guilty, but anything is possible. When you go into that dark world, when you go into all that right there, anything is possible, because your spirit is defiled. You capable of doing anything. Now, they could prove all this stuff to be lies and she get in trouble or whatever, but the fact that she doing it just go to show you. For one, it go to show you that the women in that industry don't want to be in that industry. Because if she love it there, she'll be like, okay, another one lost. Back to riding these things for money. Okay, forget you. But they desperate, they crying, they clamoring, they want to get out, they want to be rescued, they want to be saved. But they done learn how to make money through their body, and they can't go work in a clothing store and make that kind of money. And they can't start a clothing line or start a business and make that kind of money that fast. And then they start to become a part of who they are, and they start to look at it like, the ones who adapt to it, they start to look at it like art. Somebody tell them that it's art, it's expression, it's freedom, it's body autonomy, it's personal agency over your life. This is women's empowerment. They start to tell them all that, and they start to believe it, because they don't want to feel like the scum of the earth. They don't want to feel like God's forgotten child. They don't want to feel like a demon. So they be hoping and grasping for anything to make it look and feel like what they doing, it ain't that bad. So this is what we got to realize and understand. So we got to try to prepare our children, and try to get it to where they know about it, and where they don't fall, they don't get sucked in and turned out to this dark world, because it's real. It's real. So, hey, this Tony Gaskin. Head on in here. I'm picking up dinner for the family, but I had to finish this video. I done been here 10 minutes, but we ordered a lot, so I figured it might not be done. But hey, think on this now and get this in your spirit. And I might do a couple more videos on it, because I'm driving, so I'm kind of, can't be laser focused, because I got to focus on the road, so bouncing around. But I might do a couple more on this, and I don't want to do that to Zion, but I might have to. God bless you. Thank you very much.